Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you details about the electronics package behind me, as well as a few other things that I plan to do with this trailer. Welcome back and thanks for being here. I'm finally ready to talk about this electronics package as well as some related items. The electrical circuit, this one did a lot of evolving over my project because my original plan was just to tap into the tail light / marker light circuit and power everything with that. So while I'm driving down the road, at first my idea was that if I needed to turn on a light here in the trailer, namely the one here behind you, I know you can't see it, but you can see the difference that it makes just on my face. I could do that so long as my headlights were on. But while camping, I'd have no power, right? Unless I wanted to leave my parking lights on. So then I got my hands on a small battery. I went with an 8 amp hour, I forget what it's called, a lithium iron phosphate battery, LiFePO 4. I'll put the correct term up here if I got that wrong. I did 8 amp hours, and that's not very much, but it's enough to run this interior stuff for overnight. Or maybe even 2 nights if I'm conservative with my power. Then I decided I wanted to add AC household power. Now I do not use an inverter because an 8 amp hour battery isn't going to power one for very long, but I wanted the option in case I went someplace that has power. So then I found a NOCO GCP1, I think is its terminology, and what the NOCO does is it's a 15 amp inlet for an extension cord. I think teardroppers use them, maybe others with a small cargo trailer conversion use them, but this is just something that you can just take a standard extension cord and plug it in. And so that in the wall, so that comes in the wall, and then I have a cutout for the wall with an access plate. The access plate isn't there so that I can get to the back of the NOCO. I don't think I'll ever need to. The access plate is there because the NOCO is too thick to fit between the skin of the trailer and the interior wall. So I cut an access hole so there'd be clearance for the NOCO. Then I put the access plate over top. This wire coming out of the access plate is for my battery. Back to the NOCO. The NOCO provides a pigtail on the inside of the trailer, and rather than cut it and hardwire everything, I just stuck with common plugs. For this outlet right here, this is plugged directly into the NOCO using a dishwasher pigtail. I've got a 3-way splitter in there, and I'm using 2 sections of it because later my plan evolved to include this smart charger. The smart charger only works on AC power, and it's great for smart charging the battery. It goes through all the stages of charging from bulk to absorption, and then I think final is float, and it'll change the voltage accordingly. What does that say right now? 13.2 volts, because right now the battery is completely charged and the whole system is in float. But when I first plug it in with a dead battery, it'll be charging at around 14.3, 14.2, and then it'll slowly work its way down as necessary. This smart charger is also powering my circuits here. Let me step out of camera view here and I will go over the circuits. Basically, you can see 5 circuits here. And for the most part, for example, right now, my primary input is this one here labeled main. The main is the input, 12 volt input from the smart charger. If I turn this off, now it's powering from the battery. If I turn the battery off, then that basically loses everything. If I'm going to turn the main back on so I can have lighting and you can see what's going on. If I had the car hooked up and running, this one here labeled floodlights would be the input from the car. And then of course I'd be driving down the road with this main one turned off. As an output though, I labeled it floodlights because right now, whether I'm on battery or smart charger, so you can see that just turned off the light that's behind the camera. That light behind the camera is a factory wired light that is powered off of the taillight circuit. So what happens is when I turn this on, what you see is a new light inside the trailer turning on. I can also just turn that off manually without messing with this, but I have also energized all the trailer lights on the outside of the trailer. And that could create some ambience or something like that at a campsite, or maybe if somebody knocked on the trailer, I turn that light on and it brings attention to the trailer, lets them know that I'm aware that they're out there. But for the most part, if I'm at camp, this is going to be turned off to conserve power, because all these trailer lights, I think they draw about 5 amps. This next one is the battery circuit, and if the battery is charged, then I'm going to leave it off if I have shore power. If I do not have shore power, then, and the battery is charged, then I would turn on the battery. This floodlight would stay off. I'm going to leave it on though so that everything is illuminated. And then main would be turned off. This lights label is for a light up forward. I don't even know if you can see the difference. I guess you can, just barely. This one is at the front of the trailer, and it's within arm's reach if I'm sleeping in the trailer. So I would have a local light. So as long as I have this on, I can control the light locally at the light switch. Or if I'm working here and I just need more light, I would turn it on so I can reach inside and get what I need. And finally is the fan. I have a Max Air fan installed, and it comes with a remote. Let's see if you can see that. And so the remote, the only thing I don't like about it is you can see that little light on there. This is an infrared remote instead of an RF remote. And so in order for it to work, I have to be pointing directly at the fan. So right now I have the fan operating at 10%, and it can run like this for I think a couple of days, or at least a day and a half. And then of course if I'm not in the trailer, I'm going to turn it off to conserve power, but 10% is enough to keep me from suffocating in here if I have everything closed up. And I'll address the whole suffocation issue here in just a minute. But I can also move it up between the stages. At full speed, this fan will move 900 cubic feet per minute. This fan is intended, let me turn that down. This fan is intended or designed for large RVs, and so I don't need its full capacity. I can't imagine even on a warm day needing it at more than 50%. I think at 50% it might draw 2 amps, and at 10% it draws less than 1/4 of an amp. And so it should run a long time. And if I need more battery capacity, then of course that's very easy for me to get. A quick update about the battery. I've been doing some testing with the 8 amp hour LifePo4 battery, and with the fan running at 10%, some light usage, the fan ran for so long because it ran for more than 24 hours. I couldn't check on it on an hourly basis overnight, and then the fan stopped in the middle of the night. So I'm not sure how long it'll last. 24 hours plus easily. So now I'm running the fan at 30%. So far it's been running for 11 hours. I'll be sure to post up here in the corner how long the test lasted before things turned off. And of course right now I'm kind of skewing my results because I've turned on lights for this update, but that's okay. My battery box arrived, and I was a little let down. The battery didn't fit in it. Dimensionally, as advertised, the battery will fit, but there is internal structure to the box that I did not account for, so the battery does not fit. So since I needed to buy a larger battery box anyway, I thought, well, what if I expand the battery size a little bit? And then it turned out getting this 16 amp hour replacement, which ought to, double the output of this battery. I'm not going to use this battery anymore because it's not good to put unequal size batteries in parallel. Well, when I went to get a box to fit this battery, there was no box that would fit just right. So the closest size that I could get was this box, which of course with this box I can fit 2 of these batteries in here. So that's what I'm going to do. So basically, with this, I'm going to quadruple the size of my battery capacity. And then this little trailer will never need more than that. I just can't imagine that. So I'm going to wind up probably mounting this on the tongue of the trailer, maybe even in a larger box. I want to decide on that. Let me know what you think about a mounting scheme. How would you do it? Right now I'm thinking I could either put this directly on the tongue and run it like this. I'll paint it black. Or put it in a larger box, the smallest tongue box that I can possibly find. Tell me what you think. The last circuit that I did not include or talk about, I've got USB ports in here. And of course I've got USB ports in the power plug right here that I don't even know if I'll use them, but I bought them just for giggles. And then I've got these USB ports here. I really should put a little shelf right off over there so that if I want to plug in my smartphone and just set it up there, then I can. I suppose I could lay it up here as well. And then there is a 12-volt outlet here. I will use the 12-volt outlet for a porch light. And I'll talk about the porch light in a minute as well. My electrical panel is an evolving project. I knew that I wanted to use this. This is basically a separate piece that I bought through Amazon. I'll put a link below. And it's used, I think its primary purpose is marine applications. So then I bought this box to hold the electrical panel, because the electrical panel, while it could be mounted to the wall, my walls are not thick enough to hold everything that's behind here, because behind here, well, I mean, I'll just show it to you right now. Behind here is a bunch of fuses in the back sides of the switches and everything. And then you'll have to excuse the mess I'm about to show you. This is the inside. So I've got my AC outlet here, and then all of the fuses and the back sides of the switches, and then this big mess of wires that you're looking at. You must be wondering, my goodness, why didn't you trim those? Well, the reason I didn't trim is because I wanted to have the ability to, if I need to troubleshoot this or get behind the wall, I wanted to be able to pull the wall out and away without disassembling all of this. And so I can feed the wires through and then pull the wall out without having to remove it all. I mentioned the 12-volt outlet here, and I mentioned suffocation. For suffocation, that's kind of a grim topic to talk about in a tiny cargo trailer conversion, but it is a true problem. This trailer, for example, it had a label, it had a sticker right here. I don't remember exactly what it said, but something to the effect of, "Do not sleep in this trailer." The reason why is because there's no air circulation. So with all the doors closed, this trailer is sealed up pretty well. And especially in a small trailer like this, it is possible to just run out of air in the middle of the night and people will die in their sleep. It has happened. Or get brain damage if you survive it for the lack of oxygen. So installing ventilation was very important to me. I just showed you my max air fan, but I also need a way to get the air flowing through. So just having the air blowing here is not necessarily enough. I needed air flow. I could have cut holes in the trailer and installed windows, but then that makes it look like a camper. And I didn't want that. Campers look more valuable. I suppose a cargo trailer could be valuable because it could have tools, but a camper conversion definitely looks more valuable. Plus it allows people to see inside. And yeah, I know there's mitigation tactics and everything, but I didn't want the attention that a camper trailer draws. How do I address the airflow problem then without a window? I mentioned that this opening is kind of small. It is, I can't remember. I think it's 38 by 46. I'll post the dimensions so that you can check it out. I'm going to make a slide out here. And it doesn't need to be big. This floor is 75 inches long. That is barely long enough to accommodate me. And not even long enough to really accommodate a twin-size mattress because of the curvature at the front. So I will put the slide out to give me an extra 2 feet. I'm going to make it about 24 inches long. And the end will have a teardrop camper door on it. And of course, those doors have sliding windows, and then I've got a screen, so then I can have airflow coming through the trailer. And I think that's kind of cool. The cool thing about the slide out, not only will it give me more room, just a little more room, and a camper-like door at the back, it will allow me to when I'm traveling, slide the slide back in to the trailer and then close the exterior door, and then I once again look like a cargo trailer and not a camper. So it's more stealth. I like the stealth. If you've been around my channel, you know I like to hide things. I mentioned the 12-volt circuit here and the porch light. What I'm going to do is, with the slide deployed, I want to have a porch light up above the door, or maybe beside it. It depends on how it all fits in there. I can't remember how big my door is going to be compared to the trailer slide. But I'm going to have a porch light out there. And that porch light, because the slide is removable, I need the circuit to be easily removed. So if I plug it into this 12-volt outlet, then that means I can unplug it and then slide the slide in, and then I'm good. And then if I'm going to remove the slide completely from the trailer so I can use it as a cargo trailer, which will be the majority of the time, then I can just unplug it and take it with me. I have on order a plug that will plug into here, and it's got a switch on it. So then I'll be able to it'll just be like a little pigtail that hangs off the back of the slide. Plug it in and then click, click. It's just on and off, and then I've got a porch light. So that's what I meant earlier by a porch light plugged into this circuit. I also painted the exterior of the trailer, and I'm not going to make it a focus of this video because I'm not pleased with the outcome. I'm just going to strip it all off, and I have another idea. I will share that in my next update. I hope you found this update interesting. In my next update, I will share my forward cabinet. I hope it'll turn out well. The slide out, and my choice of exterior finish. And with all of that, this trailer should be done. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer. I should have that update done in about 3 or 4 weeks. Certainly by the end of October, I think I can make that happen. Until then, I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Take care.